The same people who used to say that only the police should have guns, then decided we should defund the police but also still not have guns, suddenly decided that they don't like gun control after voting for it. The only explanation is that it's a Christmas miracle. Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Liberty Baby turned 1 this month, and we had family rotating in and out throughout the month to celebrate with her. And then I got sick. I am still sick actually, but I am back in action and hoping to just get through this video without sounding too gross. So bear with me. Either way, it is good to be back. It seems like I missed a lot of news, but this one seemed like a fun place to start. First, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Arms Directory, the first and so far only Second Amendment protected social network and marketplace. Arms Directory is building a vast community of firearms enthusiasts, designers, business owners, and engineers where you can post photos, talk deals, and find events, all while keeping your data safe. Check them out today at armsdirectory.com. All right, folks, I covered Oregon Measure 114 sometime last month. Time and space are sort of melding together. But the short version is it's a 12-page long measure that bans 10-round magazines and creates a new licensing scheme, and was only passed with 50.6% of the vote. Democracy. Only 7 of the state's 36 counties passed it, but those counties, of course, had big cities, and now here we are with new gun control that gives the local police the decision as to whether or not you can exercise your rights. Measure 114 is currently in limbo land after a judge put a hold on it and is scheduled for a hearing on the 23rd. Now, NPR is highlighting LGBTQ activists who think that the police will use the new law to stop them from buying guns. Because the law doesn't have clear guidelines as to what disqualifies a person, and anti-gunners these days are going the route of social media checks, these activists are afraid the cops will deny them a license on the basis that they went online and called those same cops terrorists. I just feel like if I was to go online and say like the police are terrorists or something, the police would be like, well, you seem like you might not be fit for this community to be armed, says a black trans former FFL. If they were to get that information that you got snatched up off the streets during the 2020 BLM protests, I would assume that the law would say they could deny your purchase or deny your right to have a permit. I mean, yeah, depending on how many windows you broke and stores you looted and random bystanders you assaulted, that could be a problem. But the reality is that that logic is used all over the country to deny permits in states where it's at the police's discretion. Places like Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, California, and Hawaii all come to mind. There are plenty of cities and towns in Massachusetts alone that are black holes for gun rights, and the police there will do everything in their power to never issue a gun license, BLM protester or not. People just don't care about things until it affects them directly. So in that case, hello and welcome to the party. We sometimes have cookies. The former FFL, Mia Rose, says they first got into guns and started encouraging other LGBTQIABIPOCFUBAR123 elemental P people to buy guns because Orange Man bad.
You are so very, very dumb!
No, seriously, they give the tired narrative of the Trump presidency basically legalizing white supremacy, but at the end of the day, they get the big point right that the police won't be there to protect you if something bad happens. And it's all more than a little ironic because it was because of people like Rose and the BLM crowd that made so many other people realize the same thing. It's the full circle of life. Rose and another activist in the piece, Ross Elliott, say that it wasn't until Uvalde and Club Q that they realized the need for self-protection. But of course, because they're leftists, they're not Second Amendment absolutists. Rose and Elliot worry that 114 will not only do nothing to stop the terrorism of 3D printed guns and right-wing groups, but will also disproportionately inhibit outspoken, marginalized groups from purchasing guns, and that the police could easily restrict permits to preferred individuals and deny others from particular racial or ethnic groups, religious backgrounds, LGBTQ status, or political affiliations because they say the police are right-wing extremists that belong to Patriot Prayer and the Oath Keepers. Groups which, theoretically, are supposed to be Second Amendment absolutists. Also, they don't want the police to dole out gun rights based on political affiliation, but are okay with all other rights being based on political affiliation. I mean, they have a point that gun control has historically been a way to keep guns out of the hands of black people and poor people and other undesirables as a mean of control, so yes, gun control bad, and they're better late to the party than never showing up, but their logic is still a bit of a head-scratcher. Do I think there will be corruption in how this law is enforced if it makes it into enforcement? Absolutely! It had a lot of law enforcement support, and whenever law enforcement supports gun control, that right there tells you that they don't believe in your basic rights. Whether you want to admit it or not, those cops are not your friends. The group that helped draft the law, Lift Every Voice Oregon, says there won't be room for police bias because the police are the ones that will craft the exact regulations. They also say that the annual reports of how many licenses the police issued and general information about who they're issued to is meant to work as an oversight mechanism, not as a creepy way for anti-gunners to keep track of how many guns they think are in an area. I guess in the end, the more people supporting gun rights, the better, and the piece does highlight some pretty cool operator gear in Rose's arsenal. I just wish that it wasn't covered in Antifa patches. That is it for this video, folks. Please like, share, subscribe if you're new here, drop a comment down below, do all the algorithm things because I might have been sick, but the algorithm waits for no one. Please don't forget to check out today's sponsor, the list of support options down in the description, and as always, thanks for tuning in, stay safe out there, and happy shooting.